Hi-to, and welcome to the bug tier list stream. But first, We're gonna guess a game. Bisexual bug tier list. Real. Let's see. What the fuck am I looking at? Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Tag 4-6, obviously. Shit. Hack and the Guardians of Gross. Damn it. Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. Okay. These look like for actual answers. There's some little guys here. My first guess is that it's something inspired by God of War. I have no clue. Oh wait, is this that Jack Black game? Shit. I know the game. I'm pretty sure I know what game this is. I don't remember what it's called though. Fuck. Did it have rock in the name? Man. Yeah, I have no idea what this game's called. Motherfucker. Sure. I mean, I'll count it as a loss for me, but go ahead and say it. That's it. Brutal Legend. Yep. I knew what game it was. I just couldn't remember what it was called. I would have not remembered that. All right. Well, thank you, Afro. Let's rate some bugs. All right. Well, we're starting with the pure bugs. So we have Caterpie to start. I mean, just look at him. Adorable. Inspired by real caterpillars with this thingy on their head, its head. I don't remember which caterpillar it is that does that, but that is a thing some of them can do. Is they have a protrusion they can shoot out to be more intimidating. So I'm gonna say freaking epic. Also, just cute. I think, is it red where they're more common, or is it blue? What, the Smosh ones? Or are you thinking of something else? Let me see. It is blue where they're more common. So if you play blue, this is probably the first bug Pokemon you'll ever see. PowerPoint ones are the photoshopped images. Oh, yeah. Those. First Pokemon you'll see, or bug Pokemon you'll see in blue and in yellow. Ash's first Pokemon that he caught himself. I mean, I don't know. It's got a lot of history behind it, and it's just adorable. feel like that's an easy one. Freaking epic. Bam. Metapod. I like his lazy little look he's got in his eye. I like that it goes from like this like wide-eyed little Caterpie to like the half-lidded sort of thing, which fits in with the whole like fact that when you see a wild Metapod, the only thing it knows is Harden. You have to train it from a Caterpie for it to know Tackle and String Shot. Which I think is a fun idea. I feel like this is actually one of the few Pokemon, this and Kakuna, or some of the few Pokemon that really lean into the idea of like learning moves catching a Pokemon at a lower stage so it learns certain moves. It's not something they really do a lot. Like I know a lot of Pokemon learn certain moves earlier, but like once you hit Gen 3, it's so common for Pokemon to go from single type to double type. If they're single type as in their basic form, they'll either double type in their second or third form, assuming they have that many. And there's moves you'll miss out on if you don't evolve immediately. So it kind of like overwrites that in my mind. I don't know. It's cool. Neat. Kind of like how some people try to defend Brock being a shitty gym leader by saying that like he serves as a tutorial for certain mechanics. I feel like Metapod does a similar thing mechanically of like if you catch a Metapod thinking that you're kind of like getting ahead of the game by catching the middle evolution, you're kind of actually like making it harder for yourself. And that teaches you that like sometimes catching a Pokemon in space form and learning certain levels in base form is actually better, which is true really again only in the first 2 gens and stops being as much of a thing later. But this is a Gen 1 Pokemon, so it's fine. Butterfree is also like significantly, you know, it's kind of just like the best bug type in Gen 1. Out of like the ones you can catch easily, at least outside of the Safari Zone and stuff. And it gets confusion when it evolves, and so like it getting from Metapod to Butterfree is very satisfying, which is a point for Metapod because I think it makes having a Metapod an interesting experience. I don't know. Anyway, very cool. Freaking epic. There will probably not be a lot of Pokemon on this list that go on low tiers. I'm just gonna be honest with you. All right. Next up, Pinsir. I hardly know her. Oh god, that's so blurry. It's fine. I'm gonna string it back down anyway. Pinsir is sick as fuck. Well, there's a lot of like, you know, bug Pokemon tend to like fall into this thing of like usually you have like the ones you can catch really early, and they kind of, if you're going from like stats and move pool thing and not just picking your favorite Pokemon, they tend to like fall off towards mid to late game. And then you have like the weird ones that you can catch mid game, like Scyther and Pinsir and stuff. And I feel like you know, would we be counting Mega? Probably. Because they are different forms, I suppose. This now, my opinion of Pinsir is from the anime perspective of like, you see Caterpie and Metapod who are cutesy, and then Samurai throws out a Pinsir, and it shows that like there's like much bigger, like cooler, quote unquote, looking Pokemon in the bug type as well, which is fun. You know, just a good. It's a good. Pinsir is one of those examples of like very simple but still really effective early designs. Because I feel like Gen 1, certain designs are like so simple that it's just like kind of like I don't know, especially when when Gen 5 came out and people tried to start shitting on newer Pokemon, and it's like, okay, but like this Gen 1 Pokemon is way more boring though. I don't know. But I feel like it's a very simple design. Gets the point across. It is a beetle man who will pinch you. It's a cool guy. Freaking epic. Pineco or Pineco, depending on who you ask, is our next. And I mean, gender differences? No, we're not going to do gender differences. Just we'll do regional forms and stuff. I feel like gender differences usually make such a little difference anyway, and they make even less of a difference when you play the games and you're only seeing the back sprite. A lot of Pokemon it's more apparent from the front sprite than it is from the back sprite. Unless it has like a tail thing going on like Pikachu. But anyway, Pineco. He's a pine cone with eyes. I like Pineco, but I feel like he can't get into the freaking epic category because I think he is a little too basic. Like, you could like redraw this design without the eyes and it would just look like a pine cone. Welcome, welcome. You're not that late. We've only done 3 Pokemon. I hope the nap was good though. But yeah, it's a little too basic, but it is cute. And I'm a little biased because I like Fortress a lot. So it's definitely brought down again by the Gen 1 and 2 sometimes had designs that were too simple, whereas I think a lot of Pokemon and modern Pokemon have designs that are too complicated or too humanoid. So, you know. I'm gonna put them in very cool because I still like it, but you know, it is a very basic design. All right. Next up, you know him because I caught 900 of them. It's freaking Wurmple. I like Wurmple. Wurmple's good. But I like it less than Caterpie, and I feel like, in my mind, it is a competition for, like, best, you know, early game bug types. But a positive for Wurmple is, I think that diverging evolutions are cool and not utilized enough in Pokemon, personally. And that's always been one of my favorite things about Wurmple. It's probably, I don't know if the spikiness of Wurmple was to try to make it look cooler, or what if they just happened to base it off of a more like spiny looking caterpillar. I do think it's interesting compared to Caterpie and Caterpie and Weedle, because even though Weedle does have the spike, both Caterpie and Weedle are very like orb. They like, you could just line up a bunch of marbles that are the same color as Caterpie or Weedle and just be like, it's a Caterpie, and I'd be like, it is. You're right. That's correct. I see it. But this has more of like a rough, less obviously segmented design. Like, you can see the segments more on the bottom, which is kind of neat. And I like that because it very much differentiates it from Caterpie and Wurmple. And like I said, it was very cool to like catch a Wurmple and then evolve it, and then at a point like realize that, like, wait a minute, there's not 2 bug types. You don't catch a different bug for basic bug for Beautifly that you do for Dustox, and realizing that, like, oh, it's like a 50-50 basically. And I don't know, I remember thinking that was cool. So I'm gonna put you in freaking epic. Wahoo. Honestly, I think Hornpool is basically just cooler Weedle and like mechanically. I don't know who has better stats though, but I'm not really that focused on. This is more of a which ones do I like more, and I don't really care that much about stats, honestly. But yes, speaking of diverging evolutions, one of which right here, Silcoon, our little silky guy who evolves into Beautyfly. I like it. It's a very interesting way to differentiate from Kakuna and Metapod, where Kakuna and Metapod have the more like elongated chrysalis shape that more people are used to. This is more of like this sort of orb of web that is formed around it with, you know, the extra spikes to make it look more intimidating, which is neat. I also, you know, it has like this almost kind of like emo eye swoop going on, which gives it a bonus IMO. I dig it. It's fun design. Freaking epic. Can you tell that I'm biased towards bug types? There we go. All right. Next up, Cascoon. So I have a problem with Cascoon that we're going to open with, and it's that Cascoon has more of a purple tint to it and more of an evil looking eye as opposed to the like eye with the like Cascoon or Silcoon kind of has like the half-lidded eye look, but it's like the weird like the way that like the silk falls over its eye like an emo kind of haircut. This just has like the mean looking eye and more of a purple tint. And I always thought it was interesting that it's not poison type straight from Cascoon, like that you have to evolve it into Dustox. I don't, maybe Cascoon, no, because I mean it's the same, right? They can only learn Harden. So yeah, so I don't know. Like they owe me money. Where's the money, Lebowski? But Cascoon does evolve into Dustox, who is freaking epic. And I mean, you only keep your pupa bugs for like a few levels anyway, so it's hard to really like be too bothered about it. Like if I'm willing, if I and plenty of other people are willing to catch a level like 5 or 6 Magikarp and grind it up to a Gyarados at level 20, fucking dealing with a Cascoon or Silcoon for like 3 levels is nothing. So very cool. I do like Silcoon more, even though I like Dustox more than Beautyfly. I just like the little thing that Silcoon has. It looks like it has like hair falling over its eye. All right. Next up, another pair actually, or one of another part of another pair. Volbeat. The Firefly looking dude. Looks like it has like a neck rest on, which I always thought was a funny idea. It's cute. I don't know. I never really liked Volbeat or Illumise personally that much. They're fine. This is probably my first like not bad, honestly. I don't know. I don't really actually have much to say about why, I guess. It just doesn't speak to me, and I've like I can't think of any time that I've like used them in a playthrough. I don't know. I feel like the thing around its neck is maybe supposed to look more like a scarf or something, but it just looks like a headrest to me on Volbeat. Illumise, I'll grab Illumise real quick. Illumise kind of works better, I think, design-wise, because it looks like hair. Like, as opposed to, I mean, maybe that's what it's supposed. No, because like the way Volbeat's holding it, their hands up, it looks like they're holding a scarf, but I think it just looks like a headrest, so it's silly. And Volbeat is like 100% male, and Illumise is 100% female, so it's like a, you know, that sort of dealio. So maybe, I don't know, they cooked a little better with the as they always do in RPGs when you can choose between male or female. They cooked a little better with the female design. So I'm putting Illumise in very cool because I do think it's a noticeably cuter design, even though I never use either of these two personally. All right. Next up, the Gen 4 early game bug, Cricketots. This is what they should have been using in the Little White Bird instead of actual cricket bats. I should have had little Cricketots like kicking the ball around. Anyway, he's a little guy. He's adorable. I love him. I feel like he does the like chubby looking little guy thing better than Volbeat and Illumise do. I like that Cricketot and Cricketoon are like music themed. I'm not biased, but I am also biased. I like that he is like, it looks like he's wearing a very nice suit. Like he's got the collar, and like the front of it looks like, you know, the button up part of a nice shirt. It's very fancy little guy. I like him. Freaking epic. Even though from what I remember of their Cricketot and Cricketoon's movesets being very not good when I played Gen 4, I still used them in the early game because I liked them. All right, Cricketoon. He's skinnier. He has a longer neck and a mustache. I don't like Cricketoon as much as Cricketot. I think he gets a little too humanoid. They leaned a little bit too much into the like, what if he looked like a guy thing. It's still a fun idea, but I'm gonna have to knock it down to the very cool category. Also, let me check something. Check Cricketot's moveset in Gen 4, because I remember the only thing it really had in Gen 4 was Bide or something like that. Learns Growl and Bide at level 1 and Bug Bite at 16. Yeah, that's what I remember. So from as far as I'm concerned, you don't actually fight with Cricketot. You throw it out and then switch out to level it up. Anyway, next we have Burmy, and Burmy has three versions. First up is like the sort of, I guess, default, or what I always consider the default, the plant cloak, as it's called. It's a little guy with leaves. He's covered in leaves. He's got I like their weird little like almost kind of like duck lip beak sort of mouth they got going on. It's based off the bagworm. Let me see if I can get a picture of a bagworm. Which is a type of moth. And they have very interesting little cocoons that I like. Here, Let me drop this in here. Bam. This is what bagworm, or this is an example of what bagworm cocoons can look like. If I remember right, they like will change up how it looks depending on their environment a little bit. Which is why there's different versions of Burmy. You know, like these are definitely meant to resemble like a pine cone sort of look. Which I believe, maybe is pine cone also based off a bagworm? Is that what that's supposed to be? Is that why he just looks like a pine cone? I don't know. Interesting. I never put that together until just now. Anyway, he's got little beady eyes. I like this bagworm design more than Pineco because it looks more like a guy sticking with his little face sticking out. So I don't know. But I'm gonna put the plant cloak in very cool. Because I like the other two more. All right, Burmy sand cloak. He almost kind of looks like what I was gonna say cotton candy, like vanilla cotton candy, I guess, if we were gonna pick something that made sense with this color. I don't know. He'd probably be a rougher to the touch than plant cloak Burmy, honestly, but I kind of just like it more. It's a little cuter to me, at least. It's almost kind of sheepy, actually, with like the lighter, kind of fluffier looking coat. But yeah, I'm putting sand cloak in freaking epic. And of course, last but not least, we have Burmy trash cloak, who is pink. And looks more like the sand cloak than the plant cloak, interestingly. This definitely looks like cotton candy. But it's probably tastes bad, considering it's called the trash cloak. Actually, I don't remember what causes you to get different ones. I assume it's just different routes. Changes its cloak based on the environment of its last battle. Oh, okay. So it just changes whenever you use it. The specifics of how an environment affects Burmy's cloak vary between games. Okay. I see. It's been a while since I played Gen 4, so. Yes. It's got a cute little cotton candy cloak, so. Freaking epic. Alright. Let's see. Now we're kind of getting into like pure bug types that I don't know, and I'm just gonna be judging them based off of design alone. This is Carablast, and I mean, look at him. It's adorable. He's a little guy. He looks like he's wearing like a beetle outfit, and he's just like rawr. Grr, I'm so threatening and scary. Fear me, he says. How tall is this Pokemon? Like a foot tall? 1 foot 8 inches tall. Adorable. Freaking epic. I love it. I love the little things. Very cute. Let's see. Shelmet is our next one. I believe this one I have a problem with because it looks like it should be Bug Steel, but it's not. But it is a fun design. Like, the idea that it has a shell that looks like, you know, a helmet, a knight's helmet, but then it's got the little guy inside just poking out with his little duck lips. I feel like if you ate one of these, it would be the same as like eating an oyster. Like you would cook it in the shell and then just like take the meat out and eat it. But I dig it. It's good design. I'm docking points for it not being steel type, but I'm still putting it in freaking epic. And then we have Excelgor. Who I believe is the evolution of Shelmet. Let me check. Let's see. It evolves from Shelmet when traded for a Carablast. A Pokemon that evolves into Excavalier. Okay, so they like both evolve if you trade for each other. It's weirdly specific. That feels a little annoying, actually. I'll never like trade evolutions. I don't know. He's kind of lame. I feel like especially going from Shelmet to this, it like he has like wrappings on, almost like a mummy, and like this, he's got like a thing that kind of looks like a scarf, a scarf, but he just has like, it's like somebody like made their own Dragon Ball OC, like one of the Majins, and they just added like green lines and like a mark on his forehead and evil looking dark spots around the eyes. I don't know. Kind of it feels like a big downgrade. I'm putting it in the kind of lame, actually. You know what? First kind of lame. I would be, if I just like traded my Shelmet, not knowing what I was going to get out of it, and I got that, I'd be pretty disappointed. Let's see. Next is Scatterbug. I believe this is like the Caterpie of Gen 6 or 7. I assume. Gen 6. I'd put him in the very cool category. He's cute, but like, I feel like when you compare him to Caterpie and Wurmple, I don't know. His best thing is like, I like that he has like the one tooth. But you know, not as good. Maybe if I grew up with Gen 6, I'd like him more. I don't know. But doesn't compare to my OG's IMO, but still cute. I would still catch him. So very cool category. Then that Scatterbug evolves into Spupa, who I like more. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I like that he's got this like cloak looking thing. I also like that they're like, I don't know, the pupa designs aren't all just like chrysalises, because not all caterpillars and stuff turn into like they don't all chrysalis when they go pupa. So I like that they change it up. Covered in sprinkles. It does look like sprinkles. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be. Gen 6 is like the city, so danger sprinkles. Let me read its Pokédex entry. It lives hidden within thicket shadows. When predators attack, it quickly bristles the fur covering its body in an effort to threaten them. Oh, here's one. The beaks of bird Pokemon can't begin to scratch its stalwart body. To defend itself, it spews powder. Oh, so that's what it is. Okay, that's cute. I like it. Danger Jimmies. Oh, it's even called the Scatterdusk Pokemon. Nice. Okay, you know what? Freaking epic. You get up there. You're adorable. I like you. All right. Next we have Gen 7 bug Pokemon Grubbin. Just a little guy. I mean, what else is there to say? Look at him. Interestingly, he's one of the ones that looks the most like just a regular bug, even compared to like Caterpie and Wurmple. But I like it. I could just like see this guy like walking around in the Pokemon world. You just see this guy like on a tree branch, and I'd be like, oh shit, there he is. Just a little guy. Easton said grubbing on this dick, which I thought you needed to be said, I suppose. I don't have. Do I have a clap sound effect? No, I don't. Imagine that I clapped and that there was like a roarous applause, but like half sarcastically. Does Grubbin evolve? Oh, it does, but not into a pure book type. Okay. All right. This looks like... Before I even post it, this looks like the kind of character that Shumi would look at and go, I want to destroy him. I want to ruin him. And then he got turned into a little bug. Like before this, he was just like a nerdy anime character. He got, this is Blip Bug. He got glasses and a bow tie, and it kind of looks like he's wearing like a sweater vest or something. This is like the opposite direction of Grubbin, where they really, yeah, they really went in with like the anthropomorphizing, I don't know, anthropifying him. But I like it. It's funny. I would if I like was just walking around and this guy showed up, I would laugh a little and then I would catch him and put him on the team. Blipbug looks like the kind of guy that, the kind of Pokemon that like comes from like a myth of like you kiss him and then he turns into a guy. Anyway, this is, what was it? Tarantula? How do you pronounce that? Tarantula. Tarountula. Anyway, he's all wrapped up in web to protect himself. He's wearing it like a shell. That's a fun idea for like a spider guy. He looks, the way his eyes are, they're doing like upwards point, makes him just kind of look very like content. Onion spider, yeah, that's a good way to put it. I like him. Very freaking epic. Little cutie. All right. I feel like this next one feels like one of those Pokemon that would be like controversial or something, maybe. Like if it's a good design or not. Maybe I need to start grabbing. I don't know. Spidops. He's too humanoid. I don't know. Whatever. Also spider. He's got like, he stands on 2 legs and uses the other, or 4 legs and uses the other 4 to like spin webs. I'm not like I feel like the more humanoid designs of later Pokemon are pretty hit or miss for me. I wonder, is he supposed to be inspired by like Tokusatsu actually? Because it kind of looks like it. Oh, this is what Tarantula evolves into. Okay, interesting. Those are the scariest damn triangles I ever did see. I don't know. I feel like this is a downgrade from Tarantula, though. But it's still kind of cool. I don't know. I'm gonna put it in very cool. The trap Pokemon. That makes sense. Okay, so it's like a trapdoor spider. But it's a guy also. Okay. Nimble is the next one from Gen 9. He looks the way that like his eyes have this like I feel like it's supposed to maybe look more like a flower shape or something, but it kind of looks like when like anime characters get like the crying eyes and they're very like round and stuff, and it makes him look pathetic. Oh my god, you're right. It looks like you would pick him up and like use him to like clip something shut or like staple it. Holy shit. You would buy nimble shaped uh like chip bag clips at the store. The grasshopper Pokemon. I would not have thought this was a grasshopper. I guess I kind of... Oh, there's like a picture of it. Oh, this is how it works. Okay, this makes it a little more sense. It still looks... It makes this picture makes it look even more like a an office supply item, though. But this is how it jumps, is those like things on its back like shoot out and fling it forward. Okay. That does add some points for it, I think. You know what? I like your weird little design. I would clip my chip bags shut with you. Freaking epic. Okay. And then the last pure bug type is a Relor. You know what? I'm gonna start doing this instead. Grabbing the bigger image and shrinking it down. Okay. Relor. This is a dung beetle, definitely. Hmm. I mean, at least they made the dung ball like not just brown. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a boring design. Like they gave him a face with like kind of a bulbous nose, and like it kind of looks like he's got like a unibrow and spiky hair, kind of. But I think this one's gonna go in the kind of lame category for me. Yeah, not great. Let me see if I can... What do they do to my dung beetles? Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like real dung beetles are cooler and slash cuter looking than like this guy. I feel like I'd rather look at pictures of dung beetles. As a Pokemon, it is universally hated. That is valid. All right. Next up, the GOAT. The one and only freaking Butterfree. I mean, you gotta love Butterfree. It's a classic. Adorable. Learns confusion, which is odd. Not a goat. Baby, the teeth. I write. I love it. This is for if in Gen 1, if you're playing Pokemon Blue or Yellow, this is probably your first fully evolved Pokemon you'll get. Because it fully evolves at level 10. Yeah, 10. It gets confusion, which can be helpful against Brock, but only kind of. Um, I love it. I love Butterfree. It's adorable. It's cute as hell. Great design. Like the little grabby hands. What are you gonna hold Butterfree, right? The little teeth. Let me see if there's a picture of it eating on the Bulbapedia page, because I like the way that Butterfree eats in the anime. No, they don't have any pictures of it eating. They just, I mean, there probably is. Yeah. Let's see. Butterfree eating. Here we go. This is just like a screenshot from the anime. They kind of make its hands bigger. I forgot that they did that in the anime. They kind of make the hands a little bigger, but still, just like nomming on some Poke food. Me eating, real. Real and true. All right. Next we have Gigantamax Butterfree. Hold on, let me get a better picture. Oops, that. From Gen 8, I think is where Gigantamax was. It's very cool. I love that the wings are just so fucking massive. I love how chunky they keep like this like 8 shape where like the body is very chunky. They keep the hands in the mouth and the teeth and all the feet. It has, you know, this big fluffy bit on its back between the wings. It's got huge antenna. I love the like cloud halo around its head and all the scales coming off of it. Very good, very good. Freaking epic. Let me make it slightly bigger. Yeah, okay. All right. Next up is the counterpart to Caterpie, Weedle. Him got pointy head. It kind of looks like a hat. This is the poison type, the bug poison to Caterpie's pure bug. As opposed to big round eyes, it's got tiny beady eyes. So friend-shaped, real. This was almost Ash's first Pokemon that he caught, but it got away because of Misty, if I remember right. He's cute. I like him. Tax evasion, that's the vibe I get. Hell yeah, that's based. I like Weedle, not as much as Caterpie, but I do like Weedle. So, freaking epic. Weedle is known as the hairy bug Pokemon, which is interesting because it doesn't look hairy from the way it's drawn. But, you know. I guess if you touched it, it would be hairy. Kakuna. This is what Weedle evolves into. It is another chrysalis Pokemon similar to Metapod. It looks much sharper and angrier. Metata, yes. Than Metapod, which fits with the fact that it's bug poison instead of just bug, I suppose. It looks like it has a tie, which I always thought was funny. Like, where are you going? What office do you work in, sir, that you're wearing your tie like that? It does look tankier. I don't know if is. Let me check base stats. 50 defense versus Metapods. 55. Metapod is tankier. Bug business. See, I'm glad you guys agree that it looks like a tie. Very cute, though. I like him. Freaking epic. Filing the Weedle is evading taxes, and Kakuna, his older brother, is filing your taxes. All right. And of course, next, the lore deepens. Next, we have Beedrill. The Hornet, who looks the tax collector. I was just gonna say, who looks way scarier and comes to collect your taxes. But from what I know of like stat stuff, I'm pretty sure Beedrill is actually generally worse than considered worse than Butterfree. But who cares, I guess. I care because I like Butterfree more. I'm just looking for a reason to say Butterfree's better. Anyway, he gets Pin Missile. Yeah. But, you know. Is that really that big a deal? 15 power move that hits, what, 2 to 5 times? Yep. Good. Can Beedrill get Technician? No, that would be a really good move for Beedrill, or a good ability for Beedrill. For those that don't know Pokemon, Technician is an ability that causes... It can get Technician? Oh, okay. It does not say that on Bulbapedia. Technician is a thing that makes lower power moves do more damage. Which would be good for stuff like Pin Missile, which has low power but hits multiple times. It's so cool. I like Beedrill. Classic. Very sharp and scary compared to, you know, Butterfree. No, Butterfree's better. And then we have Mega Beedrill. Who died collecting taxes and got turned into a robot. I don't know. He's all right. They add like he's very like robot-y, which I actually kind of don't like. They've started doing a thing with certain Pokemon where they make them look... They've done the Digimon thing of like making like some of the megas or the like alternate forms look robot-y. But I don't know. It works if like the whole line is robot-y, but I don't like it when suddenly it becomes robot-y at the final stage or something. So, you know, I'm gonna give this one a not bad. Could be worse, but I think it's a significant downgrade to me. I think it's too sleek compared to like the rest of the line. But I guess that's the thing with megas, is they can be pretty hit or miss. Apparently Mega Beedrill is pretty good as like a sweeper type in the new game though, so that's something. All right, next up, Harris, the mushroom Pokemon. It's got parasitic mushrooms growing on its back. And he's a little guy. I very cute. Oh, kind of crab-like, I always thought. Very interesting in game. The only place I know of that you can for sure catch it is in that one part of Mount Moon. But I like him. He's a little guy. I'm kind of biased because there is that one episode of the Pokemon anime where like that lady has the Paris that like she wants to make stronger, so it can evolve into Parasect, but it's so weak that like even like the tiniest little zap from Pikachu knocks it out. But then it has like the whole thing where Paris accidentally beats Charmeleon in a fight, even though Charmeleon's about to go all out and just wreck Paris' shit. It's a very fun little arc for Paris to have. And I think it's cute. So, freaking epic. And then before we take our pre-break, we will go to Paris's evolution. Also, Paris's bug grass, which if you want to look at it from like a... And it can also have the dry skin ability. It can get really fucked up by fire types. Really bad. Also, one of the few Pokemon whose name is the same in Japanese and English. Anyway, next up is Paris's evolved form, Parasect. So the lore of Parasect and why its eyes are white is because the mushrooms on its back, the parasitic mushrooms on its back grew, and they're based off an actual parasitic mushroom that kills the host and then like controls it. You know, those types of like fungi that like control the host, and that's why its eyes are whited out. So this is necromancy. This is a dead Pokemon being controlled by the mushroom on its back, which is kind of awesome, if I'm being honest. I don't think it's Cordyceps. I think it's something else. I could be wrong though. Let me check. Tochukaso is the parasitic mushroom. Oh yeah, I forgot that like Paris and Parasect are inspired by like cicada nymphs, and that's why they look kind of the way they do. Paris, it's a very cool idea for a Pokemon, and it's like a bit of like darker Poke lore, I suppose, that you would not like realize was a thing until you got older and looked it up, which is fun. Freaking epic. I think it's a fun idea for a Pokemon. Cool. Fun fact about Paris and Parasect that kind of makes up for their bad typing is that I believe, at least in Gen 1, they were the only ones that could learn Spore, which most of the powder moves that like poison and stuff are 75% accurate. But Spore is 100% accurate. So it will just hit every time, which is great, because it puts the opponent to sleep. And especially in Gen 1, sleep can just last a really long time. So putting the enemy to sleep was sometimes just like an instant win. So kind of neat. Anyway, I'm going to take a pee break and then we will move on. So PRB. Hello. Oh, hi, Toe. We back. Sheik's theme. Venonat. Hey, Aiden. How's it going? This guy's called Kong Pong in Japanese. That means nothing to me. I just noticed it when I clicked over. Anyway. I always forget Venonat's not just bug type. It feels like it should just be bug type to me. I guess it's purple. I don't know. Whatever. Little guy. Cute. There's like a fan theory that originally Venonat was supposed to evolve into Butterfree and Caterpie was supposed to evolve into Venomoth, which I don't agree with, but I get why people say that. Because like there are definitely similarities here to Butterfree. But yeah, he's cute. Got the teeth, got the hands. I could just see this guy running around in the forest and like hiding in bushes. I don't know. I dig it. Very cute. And there's like a good blend of like simple but cute designs for bugs in Gen 1. I don't know. Freaking epic. And then we have its evolution. To roll it, it does look like it would roll around, doesn't it? I bet Venonats would have fun like getting into groups and just rolling around in the forest floor. This is a Venomoth. This is what it evolves into. It's got these big fucking eyes. All the better to look at you with. It's got the teeth. Instead of like the little grabby hands, it's got these more like claws underneath it. It's a much plainer looking moth. Not Venomoth. Game Boy Ito time. Hold on, let me open Fugi. Bam. All right. Bug type music for a bug type stream. It is Morphonite's theme. It's true. Well, now you know. I'm a Game Boy Color Great Fairy. This is an Ite. This is what an Ite looks like. It's 13 Itos when they combine together. Rendered in Game Boy Color style because you guys can't handle the true visage of an Ite in all its glory. You're not ready. Anyway, Venomoth is very cool, but not freaking epic. I do think it's a bit basic compared to a lot of the other bugs, especially from like the early gens. But he's still cute, so I'll give him a freaking epic. But I definitely would consider keeping Venonat just as a Venonat on a playthrough, just for the sake of having a Venonat. All right. Next up, thank you for the daily dues, Dawn. Scyther, who is named Strike in Japanese, which makes sense. I have the advantage of noticing those things before you guys can. Just by, even if only by a couple seconds. Oops, why did I make him smaller? Scyther is one of the cooler looking bugs of Gen 1. He's got big scythe blades, obviously based off of like mantises. This Pokemon looks like it smells like celery. I love celery. I had a whole like arc in like, when was that? like spring, where I just like every time I went to the store, I would just start buying a bunch of celery, and I was just eating a lot of celery for some reason. So just liking Scyther after it still didn't show up after 10 hours of shiny hunting. That's not Scyther's fault. That's Pokemon Company's fault. Hell yeah. Celery is great. Underrated. IMO. It's a great, tasty snack. It gives you a little bit of extra hydration. But yeah. Very cool looking bug. Slashy slash. I always like Scyther. Scyther's cool. IMO. Da, 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 da. Joe Mama? What is that supposed to be a Joe Mama joke? Or is that an actual thing you're leading into? Anyway, Cerebi. Oh, okay. I was like, that feels like a really weird setup for a Joe Mama joke. If that's what that's supposed to be. I did not. Yeah, I don't. I don't use Cerebi as much as I use Bulbapedia. TBH. Because I found I've known about Cerebi for a long time, but I don't know. I've always used Bulbapedia more. I'm sure they are. Anyway, Scyther's cool. Freaking epic. I like Scyther a lot. He's one of those two where I think it's like cute how cool it is, if that makes sense. Like he's such a like warrior battle type guy that you kind of just want to give him like head pats though. I also think it's weird that he's bug flying. I actually forget that Scyther's bug flying. Because does it learn any flying moves? It learns wing attack in Gen 9. But in Gen 1, in yellow, it learns wing attack at level 50. Jesus Christ. He'd help in the kitchen cutting veggies. Absolutely. 100%. Gen 2 learns wing attack at level 30. That's better. Steel type. Yeah, that's fair. I always think that Scyther's just bug. Just plain bug for some reason. But I like Scyther, so sick. Why? Oh, Pinsir has a Mega? I didn't know Pinsir had a Mega. I missed that when we were on Pinsir earlier. That's my bad. Okay, well, here's Mega Pinsir. Boop. Bam. Oh, that's why you asked. Okay. That yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't even catch that, the little thing down there. So I feel like this falls under a similar thing to Mega Beedrill, where they kind of go for like this robot-y kind of look, and I think it makes it less interesting. And it makes it less natural. So I don't like it as much. I'm putting it. I'm gonna put it next to Mega Beedrill, I guess. In the not bad category. Oop. All right. Didn't know there were Mega Pokemon. They added that in Gen 6, I think, after I stopped playing. I think Mega designs are pretty hit or miss. Poisonally. All right. And by that I mean I probably only like one in every like 4 Mega designs, honestly. All right, Ladybug. It's a ladybug. Gen 3 remake. Well, Gen 3 remake is Gen 6, to be fair. Or no, is it Gen 7? Maybe it is Gen 7. Whatever. It's generation I didn't play it. That's what it is. But yes, cute little guy. Round, big old eyes. Those little cartoony balled up fists. I like Ladybug a lot. Very cute. Gen 2, or this is the Gen 2 bug. Good design. Freaking epic. Love it. I would snuggle my Ladybug every night. All right. And then its evolution interestingly goes in like a tokusatsu direction, which I always found a little odd. To Ledian. Which like I don't know. It's less cute, more like it's still kind of cute, but no, I don't know. Didn't it have like a signature move? Comet Punch, that was it. Hits 2 to 5 times, has 18 power. Other than that, at least in the early games, it's not particularly good in any like move or stat wise thing. It's got really good special defense, which I always thought was weird. It's still cute, but it's one of those like this feels like a downgrade from its earlier evolution for me design wise. So I'm putting it in the very cool category. Cosmic defense, I suppose so. All right. Next up is another spider. You're only rating on appearance? Yes, because viability doesn't mean anything in Pokemon unless you play competitively. You can beat the game with 6 Magikarp if you feel like it. I mean, I did a playthrough using Ash's team from the anime, and despite half my team being not fully evolved Pokemon, actually more than half, and me being like 10 levels lower than Blue's team on average, we won on our first try. So it's really not that hard to win with your favorites. Spinarak. Very cute. I like it. I like the face. The like idea that it like hangs from a web and you see like the face on it is very fun. It's cool. Arbok does a similar thing. I like when they add stuff like that in. He's just a cute little guy. I would like walk around with my Spinarak like on my shoulder or something, just hanging out with me. Freaking epic. And then we have Ariados, who's the evolved form. Of course, the evolved form looks more like sleek and cool looking. Can't really see it here. I'm pretty sure it does have the face thing going on still, though. Try to get like a picture of it from like different angle. Maybe it doesn't. Does it not have a face? It's got dots, but it doesn't really look like a face from any of the images I can see. For some reason, I thought it still had the face. Oh well. Not as cute as Spinarak. I'd kind of feel like it's got the similar thing to Ladybug, where I'd almost rather just keep it unevolved. Honestly, keep the cuter version. So I'm gonna put it in very cool. Still cool to see, but You know. Let's see. Switching back. We have next up our little dragonfly. Yanma. Just a little guy. Him fly. It's speed boost, which I think is a fun ability. I like him. One thing I feel like I like about a lot of bug types is it looks like a little plane. Yeah, they look like the kind of Pokemon that would be I would want to like carry around on my arm as opposed to just like keeping them in the Pokeball. He zooms around. He's a fast little guy. Zoom. Freaking epic. Speed boost, for those who don't know, is an ability that raises your speed at the end of each of your turns, just automatically. So you don't have to use any. If you want to have high speed, you don't have to use stuff like agility and whatnot. It just happens automatically. Very cool. Let's see. Next up is Forretress, which is what Pineco evolves into. I'm a big fan of Forretress, personally. For multiple reasons. One, it's a fun troll Pokemon because it can learn, is it explosion or self-destruct? Or maybe it's both. Self-destruct. And it has, unless you hit it with a fire type move, because it's bug steel, it has good defense. So you just throw this guy out and self-destruct, and it's funny. I think it can also set spikes. So that's also good. Toxic spikes, even better. Which causes the Pokemon, your opponent's Pokemon, when they come out, to get poisoned. And if you throw 2 sets of spikes, it causes them to be badly poisoned, which is even better. It's a fun Pokemon to like be kind of annoying with, to, you know, the AI. And he just has like he's got a clamp down shell. He hides in there so you can't hurt him. His little thing here looks kind of like glasses or goggles. I like him. All right. Freaking epic. Next up is Scizor. This is what Scyther evolves into. 2 Fortresses and an Arbok. No quills. Real. This is, yeah, Scyther evolves into this if you trade it with a metal coat. It gets more like, weirdly enough, normally when Pokemon evolve, they get more spiky and stuff typically, but interestingly, Scizor gets more rounded. And I always like that it has like these little clamps where like kind of Pokemon is a metal coat. It's a steel type. Obviously. But it looks like a face. There's the little dots on the side. It's very cute. I don't know. I like Scizor. I've always liked... I definitely prefer Scizor over Scyther. I don't know. It's a fun design. Freaking epic. One of my favorite there's like a bit in this Pokemon Stadium 2 opening where you can see Scizor. And it always made me lose my shit as a kid. There's also, if I remember right, can you be Scizor in that one mini game where you play a Scyther and cut logs? Or no, you can be Pinsir and Scyther. Maybe that's it. I don't remember. It's been a while. Wait. Let me grab a different image that's bigger. Clamp so many things. Real. Yeah, Mega Scizor. You're right. It is that song. Good job. Can't show the music thing today because my setup. But anyway, Mega Scizor, they get like big clampy thingies. They look like alligators here. They do the like almost sort of robot-y thing, but not as much to where honestly you could kind of argue that it looks more like a suit of armor than a robot, which I kind of like. So I like this more than the other megas. I do prefer regular Scizor more, but I will put this in very cool. All right. Cool. Next up, the GOAT. The one, the only, the mold Pokemon, Tsubo, aka Shuckle. He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy in a little shell, and he pokes his little head out. Ha 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 ha. So funny. I love Shuckle. He's adorable. He also has like crazy defense. He's a bug rock type, which is neat. He's a bug hiding in a rock. He has 230 defense and special defense. The downside is he has shit stats and literally everything else, but it's okay because he's awesome and I love him. He also gets the sturdy ability, which, if I remember right, you can't be one shot if you have the sturdy ability. Yeah. So, sick nasty. And guard switch. Oh, it doesn't learn guard switch. That sounds, I'm assuming that swaps your, yeah, attack and defense. That's kind of crazy, actually. Goddamn. Hell yeah. All right. Shuckle's cool. I like Shuckle. Freaking epic. Gen 2 has some really good bugs. Speaking of Gen 2 bugs, we have a bug fighting type. Heracross. One of the best fighting types ever. Don't at me. He comes in and he fucks your shit up. He's got Mega Horn, I think it's called. It's the move. It's like his signature move. Yeah, Mega Horn. 120 power bug type move. This, I would say that this is basically Gen 2's equivalent to Pinsir, but I like this design more than Pinsir. Instead of pincing you, he like rams you because he's a Hercules beetle, I think. But he's cute. I like him, and he will beat your ass, and that makes him cute also. And then, oh right, Mega Heracross. Right. I don't like Mega Heracross that much. This is one of those megas that I think severely gets worse than the original. Partially because it gets a little mechy. He's got like these vents on him. I don't know. I mean, the biggest thing, I guess, is I kind of like that he has like the grumpy face going on. But other than that, I feel like it's a significant downgrade. This is going with the other Mega Bugs in the not bad, but could be way better category. All right, and now to Gen 3. Gen 3's answer to Butterfree was Beautifly. Which, you know, gonna be honest, not as good as Butterfree. I do like that they gave it the proboscis. But like the little like sort of bean arms aren't as cute as the little grabby hands that Butterfree has. And even though Butterfree's wings are just like white and black, I feel like it's Butterfree's color palette jumps out at me more than Beautifly's. And I like Dustox more, so maybe that's part of it too. I don't know. I'm gonna put Beautifly in the very cool category. Age Hanto is its Japanese name. All right. Dustox is next. I like Dustox. I think he's very cute. I like his mischievous little grin he's got going on. I like his antennae. They're like these big sort of like thing. I don't know what to even call them. They're just sort of like these bulbous things coming out of his head. I like that the wings look like leaves. And I just think the color palette works better than Beautifly. I don't know. I always hope for a Dustox when I get a Wurmple. Oh, rip. Freaking epic. He's got the little grabby, 4 little grabby legs to like clamp onto your arm with and ride around. Oh yeah. Next up, Gen 3 also has some good bugs, I will say. Like Surskit, who is a cute little guy. I like his little blushy things he's got under his eyes. And he's like a water skimmer. Is that what it's called? Pond skater. He like walks across the water. Ah, yeah. Which is very fun. Okay, it is called a water strider. I was right. Or I called it a water skimmer, whatever. Yeah, it like uses its legs to like walk across the water with like surface tension. It also looks like a chestnut. I like that it looks like it's got a hat and he's got the little blushies and he's just a little guy who just skates across the water. Very cute. Freaking epic. Also water bug type, because obviously the only problem with it being water bug is there sure are a lot of water types in Gen 3, aren't there? Masquerain is what Surskit evolves into. Surskit is a precious baby, you're so right. I always liked Masquerain having these wings that look like angry eyes. It's fun. I feel like some people don't even notice that's what it's supposed to be, but it's one of my favorite parts of the design. I like Masquerain. I think it's a cutie. I like that it has it's so like the rest of its body is like mostly one color, and it has like the little beady eyes with the eyelashes to really make it look cute. But then the orange bits make it look like two eyes and a mouth. To like scare off predators. It's very fun idea. Kind of the same thing that like some of the other Pokemon have. Undertale music. I got jump scared. Anyway, very cute, very good design. I like it. It's a good Evo. Stays cute without looking too similar. Freaking epic. The only thing that I think is kind of weird is that it becomes bug flying, and I always forget that it goes from bug water to bug flying when it evolves into Masquerain. But Jenna. All right. I feel like this one's a little like divisive. Some people really like this line, and some people think they're just like okay. This is Nincada. Bug ground type. This is a little burrower guy. Boink. There are some. It's kind of like the. This is basically Gen 3's Paris in the sense that it's based off cicadas. But I don't think it's nearly as cute as Paris. I think it's a bit too basic, personally. I feel like some people probably really like the Nincada line, but I'm going to put this in not bad. Just don't do it for me. And then it evolves into Ninjask, a ninja bug. I believe it is also a very fast Pokemon, similar to like Yanma. Yeah, it has speed boost. So I guess this is like the Gen 3 equivalent to Yanma, but it's still a cicada, obviously. I don't know. It's fine. Not a huge fan. I do like it more than Nincada though, so I'd put it in the very cool category. But it doesn't like, it's not like an automatic catch the way a lot of the other early game bugs are for me. Like I'll usually skip getting a Nincada when we get to Rustboro. But when you get Ninjask, if you have an open slot in your party, you also get a Shedinja. And this is a really interesting Pokemon mechanically, and I actually think it's super cool. So this is a bug ghost, and it is the shell that gets left behind when Nincada becomes Ninjask. It has like a big hole in the back, and there's like weirdly fucked up lore considering that like the back sprite shows the big hole in its back, but there's lore that's like it is believed that this Pokemon will steal the spirit of anyone peering into its hollow body from its back, says the Ruby Pokédex entry. So that sucks for you, I guess. But anyway, it has a really cool ability that makes it so it's immune to damage that isn't super effective or caused by effects. Called Wonder Guard, which is a very fun, weird ability. I don't know. I think Shedinja is a way more interesting idea than Nincada and Ninjask, and it's probably the only reason I would catch a Nincada is if I was gonna like have a gimmicky Shedinja on it. Yeah, I love their reasoning for why it's bug ghost. It's such a cool idea because like I don't know. Them really leaning into like the whole thing with it being a cicada and leaving like the nymph shell behind and making it into its own Pokemon is very fun. It's a good idea. Really good idea. Freaking epic. I love it. Super, super smart and creative idea. Props to you, Pokemon team. You ought to be proud. All right. And then we have Wormadam, which is the evolved form of Burmy, only if it's a female. And it's got the same deal going on. It's a bagworm Pokemon. So this is the plant cloak. This is what I sort of consider the default. It's got some flowers growing on it. It's got like the single long eyelash and the leaves that look like hair, since they can only be female. And I guess the little leaves kind of look like bows or something poking out. I'd put the plant cloak version in very cool, but not any higher. I feel like the plant cloak for Burmy and Wormadam is a bit too basic when you have the other ones that I think are much more fun. Let's see. Sandcloak Wormadam has like these little rock-looking things for hair instead, and it's got this bit on the front. Kind of looks like two eyes with a smiley face, honestly. And I think this is a much cooler look. I like it. I like it more. This is freaking epic to me. I don't know. I don't know if I mentioned, but wait, do they change type? Don't they? I'm not crazy, am I? Yeah. Yeah. Sandy Cloak is Bug Ground and Trash Cloak is Bug Steel, whereas Plant Cloak is just Bug Grass, which also just makes them more interesting to me. And then of course we have the Trash Cloak Wormadam, which is like kind of weirdly enough, even though I like Burmese Trash Cloak, I feel like it's so basic compared to the Sand Cloak that it's hard to give it like the freaking epic level, because it has these ribbons and that's kind of cute, but like they're just kind of ribbons. And even Plant Cloak doing leaves that look like hair or ribbons feels more interesting. So I don't know. At least with like Trash Cloak Burmy, it looks like it's like a stick you stuck in like a cotton candy thing. Boink. All right. Bam. Very cool. Could be better though. Sandcloak Wormadam wins IMO. All right. Bam. Gen 4 has a moth called Motham, which is what male Burmese evolve into. Hey, get back over there. Bam. It's all right. I'd put this in the not bad category, I think. The colors are like fine. I think the body shape is part of why I'm not like big on it. It's just a bit, again, kind of the same with Beautifly. It's like, I don't know, it just has like the little like teardrop arms and legs, which isn't as fun as like the little grabby hands that like Butterfree has and stuff. So it's a bit more generic comparatively. So I can't really give it as good of a score. I I don't know. I'm going to put it in a not bad category. I think that Burmese also is a divergent evolution, like the Wurmple line, but I think that overall they're not as good as the Wurmple line. To me, at least. All right, we'll do these in... No, we've got time. We could probably do more than that. All right, next one up. We have another bee. This is Combi. And it's 3 little honeycombs with wings and like smiley faces. It's very cute. I like it. It's a fun idea. Instead of just making it a bee, the fact that it's like triplets and they have honeycombs. I don't know. It's great. I love it. This is like really good bug Pokemon design. I like that, like, instead of having the antenna coming out of the top, it's got them coming out of the forehead of the top two. It's great. Good shit. Freaking epic. I love it. Freaking adorable. Love Combi. I think Combi and Vespiquen are better bee designs than Beedrill, honestly. So happy. 87.5% of Combis are males, but the females can evolve into Vespiquen, who's much more intimidating looking. But I feel like in this case, I don't mind it because the fact that you have to specifically get the female ones, and that can be a thing, you know, if you either grind or you get lucky. And Vespiquen has some cool attack, like they have a bunch of unique attacks that revolve around like ordering, you know, in lore, they're ordering a bunch of combis to attack and defend and stuff for them, which is really fun. Attack order, defend order. What are the other ones? Is that it? Oh, that might be it. Never mind. I thought they had another one. She'd be part of the cluster. Oh, she does. The cluster. Oh man, that was one of the many things that hit me with that, like, God, mind control's hot as a kid type shit. I loved the cluster though. They were great. Not just because of that, they were cool, just in general. But yes, you're so right. But Vespiquen is freaking epic. I love Vespiquen. Slay Queen. All right. Next up is not a mega evolution despite its name. It is Yon. Oh, wait. Grabbed the wrong thing. All right. Yon Mega. Wop. This is they added this as an evolution for Yanma if it levels up while knowing the move Ancient Power. You know, I guess the idea was that it's supposed to be like a bigger ancient version of Yanma, like how we used to have the really big bugs that died off when there was less oxygen in the air. And all that jazz. It's more segmented, but I always thought it looked more robot-y than ancient. And I feel like if they were trying to go, because it's supposed to know Ancient Power, it really feels like they're trying to go for it being an ancient version of Yanma, but it looks like future Yanma. So I feel like this is kind of a miss on the idea of what it's supposed to be. But it is still cool, so I will still put it in very cool. But I feel like it can't go in freaking epic. It automatically gets disqualified from freaking epic because I feel like they just kind of failed the assignment, even if it still looks pretty cool. But I like Yanma, so there is like a level that's like, yay, Yanma gets an evolution. They're giving some love to Yanma. Next up, we have Gen 5's, one of Gen 5's bugs, Sawaddle, right? Yeah, Sawaddle. I like him. Just look at him. Look at those little teeth. And he's got this little like these little poofs on his head. And he's got like a big like over dramatic collar made out of a leaf that he ated. It's cute little guy. And let me see if I can find it. Looks like a baby chicken. Baby chicken bug. Kind of does actually, because of the colors, yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, they are based off of a butterfly caterpillar. And also they're inspired by some type of ant. Let me see. Weaver ant is what it's called. Cool. But yeah, I like that it's like, looks like it's like a little baby wrapped up in like a blanket made of leaves almost. Good design, I like it. The chicken bug is very epic. That's one of the nicest things you'll ever hear me say about chickens. And then it evolves into Swadloon, who is like bigger and introverted now because they're a teenager and they don't want to be bothered and leave me alone, mom. It's not a phase, and they always they're a little neat. They always sit in their room in the dark, covered up by a blanket. Relatable. So Gwumpy. I know. I love it. It's cute. I like that it keeps the like wrapped up in a blanket kind of look from Sawaddle, but it like, you know, feels like a grumpy teen instead of a baby. So good, very freaking epic. Love it. God, it's so big. There you go. Bam. All right, freaking epic. Let's go. And then the final evolution is Leavanny, like the adult version, of course. And you know, grew up to be a very happy bug. Very mantis inspired, obviously. I like that they're like leaves that have like a bite taken out of it for the like scythe arm thingies instead of actual size like Scyther. That's very fun and creative. And now it's wearing the green leaf instead of a blanket. It's wearing it as it's like this really sick looking outfit with like the tailcoat and the high collar and pants and stuff. Very cool. It's one of the more humanoid final evolutions that I do like. I think it's cute. It kind of feels like something out of like Bug Fables, actually. Now I think about it, but yeah, freaking epic. Love it. Next up, I feel like Gen 5 did good with the bugs personally, because we're about to get into another one that I like, which is based off of a Centipede and also looks a bit grumpy. Get bigger. There we go. Grr. This is Venipede. This is the poison bug type guy. He's a roly-poly centipede is their gimmick. This line's gimmick. Not really related to the Pokemon, but the trainer is like this like punk rocker guitarist chick, or like the gym leader of the area that uses this line, I should say. But I think it's cute. It does a good job of being a cute bug, but also having like a much rougher look to it that kind of leans into like the cool area as well. I feel like it balances the two out really well. Freaking epic. And then it turns into Whirlipede, who is now like curled in on itself, which reminds me of those enemies, the centipede, lava centipede enemies from hold on, I forgot. I was this. Time's up. Time's been up for 17 minutes, but oh well, you got extra. I like that it's still grumpy. Yeah, it reminds me of the guys from Wind Waker when you hit them and they like curl up and you have to put them on the switch before they uncurl. But I like that he's like it has this interesting sort of like parallel to the Sawaddle line where like Whirlipede and what was the second type? Swadloon, they both like become like these grumpy teens who like one's like wrapped in a blanket, one's like literally rolled in on itself. It's fun. Cute design. And then its final evolution is it uncurls itself and becomes an adult. Scolipede. And it gets like its more darker red color from its baby form back. And it like has like less of a grumpy look and more of like it really looks like it's mellowed out. But the way it like has these like legs under it gives it like this almost centaur-esque kind of look. It's like a centaur mixed with a centipede. It's very interesting. And I like it's got the big points on the front and the back. Very cool. Freaking epic. I think they do a good job of like giving you the like more cutesy bug line and the more cool bug line, but like the cool bug line is still cute and the cute bug line is still cool, if that makes sense. Like they don't like diverge too far. And then there is Mega Scolipede, who really leans into the like centaur look by having like this like set of armor, and it looks like in like the big extra large things, it just looks like it's gonna charge at you. This is one of the megas I do like a lot, actually. I feel like it leans into like the theming from the original without losing it, I guess, like or without losing too much. Like this just feels like it would make sense as like a fourth evolution to me. And I feel like I don't know, it's a cool mega to throw out. Like it's just a bigger, stronger, more armored version of the previous thing. So I'm gonna say this is our first mega evolution that makes it up into the freaking epic line. So congrats on that. All right. And then we will take another pee break and finish up the Gen 5 bugs, or the primary bugs, because we also have to do after we get through all the primary bug types, we have to get through the secondary bug types. PRB. Hello. Hi, too. I'm back. All right. Next up is... One sec. Let me grab it. The Rock Inn Pokemon. Cute. It's a little hermit crab named Dwebble. He's a little guy. He's got a little rock that he hides in. He pokes out. He's like, ooh, what's going on? What's going on over there? This is adorable. It's like, this feels more like a new variation on Pinsir more and Eris more so than Ninkata, honestly, despite leaning more into the crab thing and not being a cicada nymph. Or I assume it's supposed to be a crab. It's not water type, but like it's definitely a hermit crab. But yeah, freaking epic. He's cute. I love it. Cute little guy. And then that evolves into bigger crab with bigger shell. Crustle. I like the way that the rock on his back is like layered and has different like bits in it instead of just being like a solid color. It really makes it feel like he just like plucked a chunk of rock out of the ground and just set it on his back. I don't know. It's cool. They could have easily just been like, yes, one solid brown color. He looks like a pastry or rock. Oh my god, he kind of does. I feel like it would taste pretty good too. I would eat this. This is one of those things you put on the like things you want to eat but can't list. Freaking epic. I like him. The Stone Home Pokemon is its title. Iwaparasu. It's got palace in its Japanese name. That's cute. All right. So, if you remember Carablast from earlier, the little beetle guy, right here where my mouse is, that like looks like he's in an outfit. This is his evolution. Turns into a guy with a suit of armor. And it has like this bit on the bottom that looks like the bottom of like a beard or something. But it's like, it's actually a shell covering its bottom part of its body. It's got the lances. I think this is actually pretty cool. Design. There's a lot going on, but it's still like interesting. I like that the lances are like candy cane striped. I'm gonna put this in freaking epic. So my music stopped for some reason. Oops. The whole window is freaking out. I don't know why Opera's bugging out on me all of a sudden. Come on. Do I need to close Opera? Apparently. All my Opera windows are fucking up. Okay. Uno momento. All right. There we go. Okay. We'd be back. All right. Let me reopen Bulbapedia real quick. Get back to where we were. Okay. There we go. All right. Next up is another little guy that I would like to carry around instead of keeping in the Pokeball. It is Joltik. Little electric tarantula looking guy. I like him. I like the blue and yellow. I feel like it's a good color scheme. It's simple, but it pops, you know? And he's adorable. I want him to ride around on my shoulder and I will feed him foods. All right. And then, of course, it evolves into bigger spider, Galvantula. Whop. who, despite being a lot sleeker, I still feel like is pretty cute. And it's still got the blue yellow, but it adds in this like sort of purplish color to like shake things up a bit, which is interesting. I like it. I think it's a good, very good design for a bug electric type. Like I said, I think they overall did a very good job with the bugs in Gen 5. And now we have another bug steel type, kind of like Scizor. This is Durant. He's a steel type ant. It's Ant Robot. Also a rare case of well, I guess a semi-rare case of a bug that doesn't evolve. I guess it's not that weird actually. Pinsir and Scyther didn't evolve originally, and Pinsir still doesn't. I don't tend to like a lot of the more mechanical Pokemon though. It's not bad. I do like the, I don't know, like little screws or whatever those are, thingies on it. I'd put it in not bad. And maybe it's just because I like more fantasy stuff than I do sci-fi, but I tend to not like a lot of the robot-y steel types as much. Now we have a bug fire, which is fun. Larvesta. I like that he's got the little thingy, the little quill thingies coming off. That kind of like give like this sort of like sun look, you know, like how when you draw the sun, not uncommon for you to have like the little thingies coming off, the heat wave looking thingies. That's very fun. I like the white hair to contrast like the red thingies coming out. And the, you know, the like black carapace thingy. Cute design. I like it. I would put this in freaking epic. And then that evolves into a very, very cool moth. A volcano moth, Volcarona. Now instead of having the thingies coming out of its head, it's got like the like thingies coming out of its back, and it's kind of like a sun, but it also kind of looks like a flower. I feel like. Welcome home, Dawn. And I like the way that its antenna thingies like form like these horns on its head. It's very cool. Look, I dig it a lot. Very epic, I must say. Freaking epic, even. All right. Next, we have another bug steel type. Genesect has the gimmick of having a move, if I remember right, that changes type depending on if you give it certain special held items. The shock drive, the burn drive, the chill drive, or the Dow's drive turn its attack Technoblast from normal type into the corresponding move, which is interesting because it's kind of like a non-legendary Arceus in a way, but I'm not a huge fan of the design. It's just a robot that like kind of sort of looks vaguely bug-like. So not very interesting if you ask me. I'm going to put this one in the kind of lame category. It has like a somewhat interesting idea for like the mechanics, but I would not want to use one of these. I don't think. And then we have Vivian, which is a fun pun because it's like Vivian, but like I or whatever the French word is for butterfly. Anyway, I like its wings. I like that they have like more square patterns because this is like a thing I only know from like playing Metal Gear, but like more city building oriented camouflages tend to have more square. Vividly Vivian, yes, exactly. Square patterns in them. Urban camouflage, I guess it would be called. And Gen 6, you know, takes place in like basically France. So that's fun. And of course, that's why the name is a play on papillon or whatever the fuck. I can't remember the French word for butterfly, but you know. Anyway, freaking epic. I like it. It's good. Next is one of the better, I would say, kind of like sort of techie designs. This is Charge-a-Bug. It is a battery. It's like a battery larva. It's an electric bug type. Kind of looks like a bus actually. But I do kind of like this one. I'd put this very cool, I think. It is more interesting than a lot of the other like more robot-y ones because I like that it like looks vaguely like a battery, but it isn't just a battery with like legs or something. It's very like in the middle of like certain aspects of it are very robot-y, but certain aspects make it look more buggy. So I think it's more interesting than a lot of the other more techie looking bugs. So I'm gonna put this in very cool. And then it evolves into Vikabolt. Who gets more buggy, which I like when it evolves instead of getting less buggy, and it looks more like an actual animal, which is like it does have like it does look like a bug with like a robot helmet on, but I still like that it's still fairly buggy. I'd put this also in the very cool category. I like that it has like this glow, this like firefly-esque glow in its abdomen. Pretty cool, I would say. Oops. It's a little too techy still to go into the top tier, but I mean, you know, it's pretty cool. I'd consider using one, you know. And then next up we have a bug fairy type, which is I am also bug fairy type, so that's pretty epic. Cutie fly. It is a cutie. That's a bee fly specifically. It's just a cute little guy. Look at it. I like that its legs look like that this is how you would see a lot of like butterfly antennae. That's fun. It's got the short little proboscis. It's got the sparkly eyes. I like its like body shape. It's just a fluffy little guy. Very cute. Good, but it smells like vanilla. Yeah, you know what? It would. You're right. I would sniff my cutie fly. Freaking epic. I like it. Glad to have some bug fairy representation. Uh, and then that turns into Rabombi, which gets more humanoid, but normally I'd say, why is a bug getting more humanoid? But because it's a bug fairy type, it's actually, I feel like, a very good, like the type explains why it becomes more humanoid. It's got like this little scarf looking thing. It's still got like the cutie eyes. The arms and legs still look like, have that shape of like how you would typically see like a butterfly's antennae being drawn. Looks like it'd be in the Muppet Christmas Carol. Oh my god, it kind of does actually, because like the way the scarf is done up. It's very cute. I like it a lot. Very cute Pokemon. I definitely would catch a cutie fly or a Bombi on a Gen 6 playthrough and use it. 100% love this design. Great bug fairy representation. Oh my god, it's so big. Great bug fairy representation. Good shit. Next up, we have a horseshoe crab. Another bug water type. Wimpod. I like his eyes because he looks very like skeptical. Like he's like moving around on the seafloor and he sees something and he's like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I trust that. I think I'm gonna go the other way. It's cute. I don't know, I like it. I like his like, he's a sea roach. Oh, I thought it was a horseshoe crab. That makes sense though. I can see that. Cute though. I dig it. Scuttling around on the seafloor. I like him. Freaking epic. I'd probably catch one. Then it evolves into at level 30 Galissapod becomes a big man, which feels like a huge jump, let's be honest. Like it feels like there should be a middle evolution here. But you know, it's whatever. I don't know. I feel like it's maybe a little too Digimon-y for me of a jump. Though, like it kind of looks more like a dude with very bad posture wearing like some wacky armor that you'd fight in Dark Souls. So I'm gonna say it's pretty cool though. It's like if it were a dude wearing armor, this would be like some sick fucking armor. But I'm gonna say this goes in the very cool category because I feel like it's a big jump from being a little guy to like a man. If they were an in-between state, maybe I would like it more. Weirdly enough, it does have a mega, and the mega gets less man-like. And like more creature-like. Kind of almost alien-ish. And it has like a pink beard, which is kind of cool actually. I'd still put this in the very cool. I wouldn't put this in freaking epic, but I do like that it gets less humanoid. When it gets bigger, it goes mega. Shrink this down a little more. Point, good enough. All right, cool. One of the better megas we've seen so far. This guy, this is definitely a tokusatsu thing. Like, there's no way it's not. It's also an Ultra Beast. So, it's just a very weird... I don't know the lore of the Ultra Beasts, so I can't go into that. But I'm sure it's very epic, and I will play those games eventually someday and find out. Anyway, it's like a big man, alien guy with a... like a mosquito, freaky alien mosquito head. He's a bug fighting type, unsurprisingly, because he definitely could beat the shit out of you. Design, based on design, he's a little too much of just a guy, but he is a fighting type, so I guess that's why. But that's kind of why I don't really like a lot of fighting types. I feel like I'll put it in the not bad tier because it does have like an alien twist on it, you know, because it's not just a fighting type, it's a bug fighting from space or something. I don't know, wherever the fucking Ultra Beasts are from. We have another Ultra Beast, so another humanoid looking, but I feel like this one is more alien looking to me. It's also bug fighting? Really? I would not have thought that. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, this one, actually, this is just... I mean, this is the same thing we were saying earlier about it being... This could be like one of the robots from the cluster in Teenage Robot. This is Pheromosa. Interesting that she's bug fighting. I would have assumed like bug psychic or something. It looks like a lady, but I like that it has like these like wing type things on the back that like look like hair. I like that it has like the like bits of like carapace that like look like a dress. The huge antenna coming off is cool. It's like split feet, kind of giving off the high heel thing is kind of a fun way to do that. I don't know. I would put this in very cool. I think it's one of the better, like more humanoid designs, especially out of the bugs. All right. Next up is an actual bug psychic type. Dottler. Look at him. Hiding in a shell. Oh, wait, this is what Blipbug turns into? I did not know they were related. That makes sense. So the little Poindexter guy turns into this. Okay. Interesting. That does make sense. It looks very like a ladybug. And a radome. What is a radome? Turns into a D20. A radome is a structural weatherproof enclosure that protects a radar or antenna. So he's like a ladybug meets one of these. Oh wait. One of these. Oops. Which is interesting. And he becomes bug psychic. Very interesting. It's a weird design. I kind of like that it's weird. It is psychic type, so I'll excuse that it's kind of got a weird thing. But it's not freaking epic. I'd say it's very cool. It's definitely like a Pokemon where if my Blipbug evolved, I would like raise an eyebrow and be like, what the fuck is this little guy? I want to know what his story is. And then that evolves into Orbital, who's also bug psychic, and he looks very Ebel. Grr. He looks like he could be a villain, like the villain of like a kid's cartoon about bug people. I do like that the red bit here looks like it could be a mouth or a mustache, depending on how you look at it. But I would say it's very cool, but not freaking epic. I feel like it could be, I don't know, a bit more buggy, I think. That's my take. I think Blipbug is the peak of where the fuck did I put Blipbug? Blipbug's the best of the evolution line in terms of design, I think, wherever they're at. There he is. Anyway, next. Oh wait, I forgot. So now we have Gigantamax. So if you don't know what Gigantamax is, it's a thing where it's what that Butterfree we saw way back earlier was. It's just like a gigantic version of the Pokemon. It turns into a fucking UFO, which makes sense, I guess, because of the psychic type. But I don't really like that it just becomes UFO personally. It's just a UFO with like a guy sticking out the front. It just looks like something you fight in like a mech anime. So I'm gonna say that it's like kind of lame. I'm assuming, I feel like Megas and Gigantamax both are pretty like divisive depending on who you ask. Oh yeah, also next up, Scyther got a different evolution later on in Gen 8 in Legends Arceus. Cleavor, which I'm not a fan of personally, but I'm sure some people really like. It's a rock type. He has a shield, or no, I thought that was a shield in the front. He has 2 axes instead of scythes. I don't know. I'm not a fan. They made him too much. They made him into too much of a guy. I don't like when the creature type Pokemon become just guys with like slight. I don't know. Like this design on its own could be a really cool character design in a vacuum, but looking at Scyther and Scizor, it's hard to really like him a lot. So I'm going to put him in the kind of lame because it's such a downgrade from the other two. Let's see. Next up is Lokix, who is a Bug Dark Grasshopper. This is what the Nimble evolves into, the guy who looked like something you'd get out of Office Depot. He still looks like something you'd get out of Office. You know what he looks like? It's like a tokusatsu where all the characters are based off of office supplies. That's what he looks like. Yeah. So, you know, kind of cool, but a little too much of a guy. Based on a specific Locust one, I could see that. I don't know that much about tokusatsu, so I couldn't tell you which one he's based off. Burner might be able to tell you. I'm going to say very cool. Because I like tokusatsu, and it's still a neat. I still like that he looks like office supplies, but he became more of a guy. So, yeah. Is this what the fucking dung beetle turns into? Rabska. Bug Psychic. He's got like a weird pink orb with goop on it. It's more interesting, but only a bit. I'd say it's not bad. It's better than the other one, but I feel like the dung beetle representation here is disappointing, if I'm being honest. There's at least more going on here. It evolves when leveled up while outside of its Pokeball after the player walks 1,000 steps using the Let's Go feature. I see. And our last primary bug type of the dual types. Would I walk 1,000 more? For that guy, no. This is Slitherwing. It is the past Paradox form of what, I can't remember the name. Shit. Volcarona, that's it. So now it walks around instead of flying, and it's got its wings more in like the way that like an actual moth or butterfly would typically have its wings when it sits stationary. It's like the ancient past form. This presumably in the Pokemon world, this is what evolved into Volcarona over time. Which I think is cool. I like the past paradoxes. I don't really like a lot of the future paradox versions, but it's not as cool as Volcarona to me. So I'm putting it in very cool. And that's the last primary bug. Now we have all the ones that are primary something else, which is not very many, and secondary bug. So we're almost done. This is a fossil Pokemon from Gen 4. Anorith. Ah. He's got big old eyes. He evolves from the claw fossil. Here, I'm gonna pull up Gen 3. Wait, is it? Shows what I know. I don't use the fossil Pokemon in my defense. It's too much of an effort to get. But he's a cute little guy. I do like him. I'm gonna put him in freaking epic. Then of course he evolves into Armaldo, which looks more like, you know, a dinosaur guy, which I guess fits with the fossil theme. I do like that the eyes aren't like on the head but protruding from the head, and I like the like scythe arms and the tail. But I'd say it's very cool. It's not freaking epic. It's still pretty cool though. Oops. But you know, a small bit of a downgrade if you ask me in terms of design. Poisonally. Here's an interesting one because it stops being bug type when it evolves, which I always thought was an interesting choice. Skorupi. A little scorpion. He's got like a pincer tail. Got the little like mouth bits. The mouth pincer thingies. I like him. He's cute. I like the way he's like he looks like rocks. And the way he's like segmented. Even though he's not a rock type. He's a poison bug type. I don't know, but he's cute. I like him. Wink. Also from Gen 3. I believe. Wait, is he? Wait, no, Gen 4. That's Gen 4, yeah. I'm remembering now because Paul had one in the anime. Or specifically had a Drapion. I remember. Alright. We got a water bug. Jupiter. This is like, I feel like what they were going for here is like deep sea type Pokemon, where like if you go deep enough, the Pokemon start to look almost alien, which I think is a neat idea. This is a space-based one? Oh, really? Okay. So it is an alien. Interesting. Not just alien-like. Interesting. I still like it either way. I like that he's got a bubble helmet. He's cute. But he's got the little like claw thingy, the like spider kind of legs he walks on. I'd use him. Freaking epic. And then that evolves into Araquanid. We actually do like a bit more, to be fair. Because it turns more buggy. It becomes a spider guy with a bubble helmet on. And I like that like his joints have like the bubbles too. It's very fun. Instead of just having like basic joints. Things were real good for a bit. Hell yeah. Wasn't like competitive. He's going to freaking epic. I like him. I like the cut of his jib. He's the water bubble Pokemon, and his ability is water bubble. Who could have seen that coming? What does water bubble do? Halves the damage dealt to this Pokemon by fire type, and it doubles the power of water type moves. Ooh. Nice. Prevents burn. Prevents the Pokemon with the ability from being burned. A Pokemon with water bubble will be cured of burn if it is burned while in battle. I see. Neat. Next we have Sizzlipede. A radiator Pokemon. He's like a little fire centipede guy. He's got a little mustache. Does kind of look like bacon. You're right. I like him. He's a funny guy. I could see this kind of guy just skittering around in like a volcano. It's cute. Wop. And then that evolves into this guy. Centiscorch. I could be wrong, but this guy feels like he's not only a fire centipede, but also kind of gives me the vibe of like taking some inspiration from like the Chinese dragon thing. Anyone else see it? Am I crazy? Angry or bacon, exactly. Almost. When it G-maxes, it becomes a radiator. I see. Fire across on its face could be inspired by a Kabuto helmet. Oh, you know what? I see it now, actually. Kind of used to tie neurodivergent kids to in the 60s. Jesus. We absolutely see the dragon with the fire whiskers. See, I'm not crazy. It was really dark knifing. Goddamn. All right. Freaking epic. I like it. It's cute. Dragons are cool. Gigantamax. Bam. Big man. I feel like it doesn't really look all that different. He's just really long. So I can't decide if it should be a freaking epic or very cool. Spicy fruit roll up. Heard it in one of those Peepa flip note clips and it lives in my head rent free. Like if it's attack animation. All right, one sec. See. Boop. All right. Go away. I don't want to. I want to just see the attack animations. All right. Max Flare, cool. Wait. Oh no, that's just Gigantamaxing again. Wait. Gmax Centifern. Oh, okay, that was cool. It literally turned into a radiator. Okay. Nice. I see it now. Okay, that's fun. I'll give it the freaking epic level. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see. 2 left, and they're both freaking epic. I'm just going to tell you now before I even say what they are. First, we have Snom. He's a little guy. He's got a butt chin. He's a little ice guy. Ice bug. I love Snom. Snom's adorable. Everybody likes Snom. Anyone who doesn't like Snom should be put to the guillotine, honestly. Don't feed them choco sauce. Why not choco sauce? And then the last one. Oh, I see. I see where you're coming from. Frostmoth. It turns into a diva. God damn. Who did your eyebrows? Your eyelashes. I like it. Very cute. Very pretty. I like that it's like all bundled up in this really like thick fur thing going on. Frostmoth 4 times a week. Listen, that's okay. I love them despite their typing. I think they're freaking epic. It's okay. People are allowed to like Parasect. Then I'm allowed to love Frostmoth. Well, cool. That is every bug Pokemon. Took us 3 hours exactly, which is not bad. You know, could have. I was. If anything, I was a little worried that if I took too much time on each Pokemon, it would take me way too long. But yeah, neat. I like the bugs. I think, as you can see, I think most bug Pokemon are pretty good. I think if you're making a thing about creatures, you have to have bugs, and I do think that the way you build your bugs says a lot about your world. I guess Scolipede gets more aggressive because the venom corrupts its mind. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know any lore about like Gen 5 onward Pokemon, sadly, but you know. Very cool. Very cool. I will post this on Twitter after stream. But yeah, cool. Thanks for coming out. I will do one of these a month. I want to bring on somebody else for all the other ones. Preferably people whose favorite type is that type, or if it makes sense, like I might bring Melkor on for the rock type Pokemon. Bring on EE, or at least M for the ghost type. Don't know who else I'd bring on for what other types, but you know. I'll probably ping about it in the collab thingy for types where I'm not sure who I would want to. There's a specific person I would want to bring on, and just be like, hey, who wants to do this one? But yeah, so I'll figure out what typing I'm doing next month, and when I do that and I decide when I want to do it, I'll figure that out then, I suppose. What's the alpha? What are they like alphabetically? I assume bug is alphabetically first, not counting the type, obviously. Dragon would be next alphabetically. I don't know any dragon VTubers, so I don't know who that would be. We'll see. I'll decide if I wanted to go alphabetically or not. But anyway, that's it. Let me see who's streaming today. Not a lot of people, I don't think. Vanille is playing Super Metroid for the first time. That's a retro game. I play those. Dawn is sort of a dragon. I mean, no, but he is fantasy based, so I feel like it could work. Oh, Dawn is streaming. I didn't see him. He was hidden by the thingy. We can wait Dawn then, since you just said Dawn. Playing Shape of Dreams, I assume with Moose again. Anyway, I guess that's it. I don't know. I don't got nothing else. Tomorrow we're gonna start Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, which Nightfang redeemed, and we'll see how that goes. Saturday at 9 p.m. Central in the Discord. The next 4 episodes of MLP Season 4. Sunday, more Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Monday, Kingdom Hearts Level 1, finishing Agrabah and doing Monstro. And maybe getting a start on our next world. And then Tuesday, Lego Skywalker Saga, and then I will be out of town from next week on Wednesday afternoon until the following Sunday afternoon. If I get home like in the morning or midday, I may do a surprise stream that Sunday. But if I don't get home until like, I don't know, if I get home late enough that I don't feel like streaming, then I'm just not gonna stream, obviously. Yep. And then I don't know what we're doing the next day that after I get back. Oh wait, yes I do. I'm gonna be on EE's channel for with Neon for VTuber lore. They have to guess what's real and what's fake. Anyway. If you are following my teach pretty cool video peek, here is the raid message, and thanks for coming out. Have a good day, good night, whatever it is for you, and I will see you in the next stream. Mwah.